What's up YouTube? Gemini Johnny back again with another episode of Sunday Scaries. If you missed the first episode of Sunday Scaries, we took a look at some stories that were submitted by you, the subscribers. We only had 2 in that first episode, and today we're going to be taking a look at 5 stories. And just glancing through them, some of them are kind of long, so strap in. And if you've got your own scary or unexplained or anything really kind of story that you'd like to submit, send it over to my email. I'll put it up on the screen now. I did explain in the first video, but since these are stories that are submitted by you guys, not like random stories that I found on the internet, I don't really try to pick these stories apart. I take you for your word. I don't feel like any of you would lie to me. So I'll never be trying to like disprove or debunk any of these stories. I just, it doesn't seem right to do to someone that's taking the time out of their day to write into a random guy on the internet. So if you have written in, thank you. If you haven't, scroll back a little bit and get my email. My email's in the description below too, so, Now without further ado, let's jump right in. First story comes from Dylan, and the subject line is paranormal stories. Pretty straight to the point. I like that.
I like that.
First, I just want to say my wife and I have been loving your videos. Thank you, and thank you for writing in. Appreciate that very much. I've had a few paranormal happenings, and all have been pretty chill except one. When I was about 18, me and a group of friends decided to go and investigate this old homestead museum in the town I'm from. At the time, Ghost Adventures was huge, and my dad told me that the museum was haunted, so we thought, F it, let's see what would happen. I was into Ghost Adventures there for a while too. Now I had been there a few times since I was a kid, and it always gave off creepy vibes, but at night it was much worse. I've included an aerial photo, but right across the train tracks was a cemetery. So, like idiots, we stopped at the cemetery first. The gate was closed, so we parked on the street and respectfully didn't enter fully into the cemetery. We heard a few weird noises, but nothing that made us shake in our boots. We decided to head over to the museum after a few minutes, and for some reason, my friend who was driving stopped right at the train tracks, heading toward the museum. He said he felt an overwhelming feeling to stop, and he did. Mind you, this is 2 in the morning, so we are all a little tired. Out of nowhere, we look up, and there's a train hauling ass toward us, maybe 100 feet away. The safety arms never came down, nor did we hear the whistle of the train until then. My friend Piccolo nearly pissed herself screaming at the driver to drive, and the train nearly missed us by 25 feet. The weird part was, it was only one engine, and after it passed us, we didn't hear it again. Dang, that's crazy. This, of course, freaked us all out, but we chalked it up to just a random occurrence and continued to the museum. Once we got there, it was pretty normal. We caught a few orbs and a few faint EVPs, which we were pretty happy with. 2 of my friends stayed close to the house while we met, and another friend went by the barn. We kept hearing this moaning sound but couldn't find the source. So we walked over to the small trail that outlines the property and took a seat on the benches while we listened to the EVP recorder we had taken with us. My friend and I were joking, and I made the statement, "Maybe there's nothing here. This was a waste of time." And no sooner did those words leave my lips than the light directly above us turned bright red, and a chilling scream came towards the graveyard. I jumped like my pants had caught on fire and ran back to our car. The rest of my friends followed shortly behind. We drove back over to the cemetery to see if there was anyone there, but it was empty and still locked up. We went back to my friend's house, and when we got out of the car, we noticed a large handprint on the back windshield of the car. I don't think I've ever been more scared in my entire life. I haven't been back since. And then he wrote a nice little message at the end saying he likes my videos. But thank you, Dylan, so much for sending that story, and that is wild. Actually, I don't know if you heard when I told I think I told a condensed version of my Bloody Mary story and why I refused to ever say that more than once in a given setting. But very similar thing happened. That a bright red flash of light, the very last time we said it, for a bunch of elementary kids, and scared the crap out of us. Never did it again. So definitely relate to that. He did include a picture, like a screenshot of the area, but I'm not going to include that just because, privacy reasons. I think he kind of said yeah, wild stuff, man. Had a few weird things happen in cemeteries too when I was out trying to find ghosts and all that silly stuff. Yeah, you gotta be careful. You never know. I feel like when you are young and naive and you try to tap into that realm of stuff that you don't really understand, but you're just curious and dumb, it will give you that kind of warning. It'll like give you one of those little like, you don't really want to be messing around in here, kid. Like that bright red flash of light. Like me when I was in 3rd grade doing Bloody Mary. Yeah, I feel like you start dipping your toes in that water. It'll send up a little steam at you just to give you that little warning. If you keep dipping your toes in that water, it's going to hit you with a full sauna. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. But again, thank you, Dylan, for sending that in. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you do continue to watch for a long time. Appreciate you. This next story sent in by Mike. Subject line reads, "Spooky true story." Let's check it out. In November of 2023, I was downstairs playing Rocksmith on my PlayStation, and I seen a shadow figure of a person outside my window. Shadow people stories are crazy, so let's see what the rest of this has in store. I got a good look at it for a few seconds. It bolted away like the Flash. I went outside, no footprints in the snow. I called my mom, told her. She says she sees them sometimes and warned me that a person I care about will pass away. Oh, just give me chills. Oh my God. Why does your mom know about him? I posted a warning on Facebook for all my friends to stay safe. The next morning, I found out a good friend died in his sleep that night. Beware the death walkers. Dang! Short little story gave me chills. That was crazy. Thank you, Mike, for sharing. Man, I don't know what I would do if I ever saw a shadow person. I don't want to know what I would do if I ever saw a shadow person. I'm good off all that. I want none of that energy here. I'm sorry that you saw a shadow person, Mike. As my mama would say, better you than me. I'm just kidding. I don't wish out upon anybody, obviously. But it does make me wonder if we have if the reason we have this image of death with the robe and the scythe, or did I say scythe? What is it, a sickle? What does death carry? What is that thing called? A sickle. Is it a scythe? Yeah, it's a scythe. Yeah, I'm not dumb. If they got that from shadow people. In all these stories and all my years of being interested in the paranormal and the unexplained, I've never once heard of somebody actually experiencing a being that's in a hood, and it's like a skeleton in a hood that carries around a scythe. I've heard lots of stories about people encountering these shadow people. It just makes me wonder how much we have wrong. Not that anybody's really saying that the guy that carries a lantern scythe around is the actual depiction of death. But then I think they do. But then I guess if anybody ever saw that, they wouldn't be around to tell it. Big brain activity over here. But yeah, also is Deathwalkers, is that a thing? I've never heard of that. Deathwalker. There's a TV series called Deathwalker. Oh, it's Nick Groff's show. That's cool. That's all that comes up. No, for Deathwalker. I hate when that happens. I hate when a random term gets used in a big TV show, or even not even a big TV show, just a semi-famous TV show, and then anything you're looking for in that term just comes up with TV show stuff. The worst. Frozen. Disney's Frozen. Disney's Frozen head. Sorry, that went left. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, thanks again, Mike. Appreciate you taking the time out and writing that in. It'd be cool to be able to interview people someday for these. Obviously, not if they want to remain anonymous. That wouldn't really work. But all right, let's jump into the next story. If you made it to many of the premieres, you've probably seen this next guy around in some of the chats. He's a regular at the channel. I haven't read through it yet, but it looks like a pretty detailed explanation of a UFO sighting, so this is pretty exciting. I'm going to leave out the first little portion of his email, because it basically just says that he's fine with me mentioning his name because he's not scared of, whoever. They'll smoke weed and laugh in their face. Hell yeah. Well, let's jump into a scary story from Gary Ramsey. My name is Gary Ramsey, and I live in North Carolina, in the foothill valleys at the bottom of Kings Mountain, where a major battle of the American Revolution took place and turned the tide of the war against the British. But enough about that crap, let's get to the good stuff. I videoed a UFO hovering over my backyard and posted it on YouTube back in 2015. I even sent it to MUFON and they confirmed it was an authentic sighting. The day after that happened, my phone rang and the caller ID only said Area 99. I'd be tripping. If anybody watching is unaware, MUFON is the Mutual UFO Network, and they're a volunteer-based nonprofit organization that studies UFO sightings and confirms or denies, or debunks them, I should say. So that's pretty cool that they confirmed it. So Gary gets a call from Area 99. So I ignored it. I have a call blocker on my landline that stops telemarketers and robot calls in their tracks. And it stopped ringing 2 or 3 rings in, but this time it didn't. And suddenly a voice spoke through my computer speakers and said I should answer my phone, and added it would be to my benefit. What? Oh. I answered and said, hello? Suddenly this guy starts talking and is not even taking a breath, but he is kindly explaining how they saw my video and they were calling to let me know. What I saw was not a UFO at all. It was merely a reflection of Venus in the mist over the forest. Look, I'm no planetologist or anything, but I don't think Venus does reflections over the misty forest like that. Same. Okay. I've lived here almost 20 years and I know what Venus looks like, and no matter how foggy it got, there has never been anything like that over the trees. Yeah. Exactly. And it looked pretty damn solid for a reflection, but I digress. Then they advised that I remove the video and dispose of the 3 photos I took of the thing. How in the hell did they know I had those? Because up to this point, I was the only human who knew I had those photos. So I responded with a quick F you and hung up. I want to say smart move, but then, I see what the next line starts with. So I'm like, man, yeah, they already got your number, bro. You might as well hear them out. Phone rang again. Same number showed up, except this time my phone answered itself, because the same guy began the rapid fire talking through the speakers and said they would remove the video and the photos. What? Oh my god. Oh my god! I slammed the phone to the floor and rushed to the file I had of the photos and video in, and hurried them into the external drive that I luckily had hooked up to storing my music files over to it. But later on I looked for my video and it's there, but the damned object has been erased. How is that possible? They didn't get the photos though. I managed to save them, but the video still puzzles me. Because when the video disappeared from my channel, I was going to re-upload it with an explanation of what just happened, but the damned object was gone from the original video too. You can hear us talking about what we were looking at, but now there's nothing there. So I called their number to the contact that gave me a MUFON, and they acted like they had never seen my video or even knew who I was. And the MUFON agent and I spoke on a damn video chat for over 2 hours as he was taking my statements and swearing an oath all I had told him was true. And now I was like some wacko nutjob trying to report little green men. There's something wicked this way coming, I tell ya. I'm sending you this copy of 2 of the photos, and after you do this story, erase them, delete them, or keep them, and hide them, whatever you think will be safest for you. But this is what I saw, and it was huge and made no sound at all. It was bigger than my house. Venus? Pfft. I don't know why they think we are so stupid. Here's the first photo that he sent. It was attached. You can see it there. I'll zoom it in a little bit. There you can see the kind of shape, the lights. I'm using my mouse to point as if you guys can see my mouse. Yeah, that's crazy stuff, man. Let me get this other one up here real quick. And this is the second photo that he sent. Man, that's crazy stuff. Dang, Gary, I didn't realize you've been dealing with all that. That's wild, man. This is, almost 10 years ago at this point, but yeah, so I hope you're not still dealing with any of that. But thank you for, documenting and writing that in. I appreciate it. Now it's documented here on the internet forever. Yeah, man, hopefully with like more admissions from the government about aliens and UFOs and what these things are, hopefully this kind of stuff doesn't happen to people anymore and people can just, that was one of the big goals of, Commander Grush and David Fravor coming forward and testifying because they wanted to carve a lane for pilots and even normal citizens and civilians to be able to report these things without fear of being harassed, fear of being made to sound crazy. So hopefully with the government's admittance of these things being real, hopefully this kind of thing isn't going to happen to people anymore and people report their thing and then they're taken seriously. But man, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's crazy. Glad you're okay. I feel like we'll probably never know some of these stories because these people aren't around to tell them anymore. So, hey, I'm glad it stopped at the phone calls, You hear some horror stories about what these 3-letter agencies get into. So, and I know I'm preaching to the choir. Gary, I know you know all about it. I'm sure most of the people that watch these videos know all about the 3-letter agencies. So, they're my friends. I don't have any problem with them. This is all entertainment. I'm not taking down any conspiracies, any global cabals. Don't worry about me. Just little old me doing my silly little videos. All right, y'all. Keep doing your 3-letter agency stuff. I'm gonna be over here doing my video stuff, and we'll keep it cool. Please. That's what I meant. But yeah, thanks again, Gary, for sending that in. I appreciate it. I think I have a second story from Gary. So Gary's actually mentioned this to me, this next story to me in chats and stuff before. Gary lives in a haunted house. Gary straight up lives with a ghost. He's talked to me about it in Premiere chats before, and this is cool. He wrote out another pretty detailed email for us. So, man, that last one was really good. So we'll see. Let's hear about his ghost. So are you ready for another spooky tale from Gary Ramsey? Now remember, everything I tell you in these tales are 100% true, except the parts I lie about. Haha, just kidding. They're true stories. My name is Gary Ramsey, and I live with a ghost and a shadow entity. I live in a small mountain town in North Carolina. I live in the foothills at the base of 2 mountains in a kind of valley. I have a nice 2-3 bedroom farmhouse with 12 acres of land I also own. My wife and I bought this house at a cheap price, but little did we know or think to ask why it was so cheap. It's like the beginning of a horror movie, man. And as my luck usually runs, the place would have had to also be haunted, but we didn't know this for a while. One day my youngest daughter Raven was around 4 or 5 years old and she had a million toys already somehow. Anyway, I heard her talking in her room one day, and I figured she was talking to her dolls. She liked to line them up and do seminars on weird stuff she would come up with. She got it, honestly. You've seen stuff I do. Then I heard her asking weird questions like, I didn't know you lived here too. Nope. Then a pause for some minutes, and then she says, I'm glad, because you're nice. Double nope. And another pause, and she says, yeah, my dad plays guitar in a band. He is gone sometimes for a while. Another pause, and she goes, oh, I know he has long hair. Where's your hair? It's a rare sight to behold, but that is a triple nope from me.
It's a no for me, dog.
At this point, I knocked on her door and asked, you okay, baby? Heard you talking to your dolls. Hope nobody is in trouble. And she giggles and says something I didn't expect at all. She said, no, I was talking with Mr. Frank. I like him. He is nice. But the big tall man never talks. He just stands there, but you can't see him when you turn your head. Time to, I don't know, sleep in the car? I laughed with her and was thinking, another imaginary friend. She said, he likes to come in and watch me play sometimes. He just talks a lot because he hasn't had nobody to talk to in forever. Now, this one made me pause. I said, he comes in here sometimes and he talks to you. Like I'm talking to you now? She nods yes, and I ask, where is he now? She said, I don't know. He always goes away when somebody comes in. Okay. This one caused a chill over me. Yeah, same, bro. Ooh. So time goes by and I begin to notice items get moved a lot and wind up elsewhere. Small things, lighters, keys, earbuds, etc. One night the wife and I, along with our girls, were all in the den after dinner and watching a movie, when suddenly it sounded like all of the dishes in the kitchen sounded like they were smashed on the floor. We even felt it. All of us leaped from our chairs and rushed in. To nothing. There was nothing wrong. No glass everywhere, no shattered dishes, and no destruction at all. But we know what we heard. The next day was the first time I met my new neighbor and one of his friends. I introduced myself and we did the usual meet and greet and had a beer and that sort of thing. The friend asked me if I was the new resident of the house I was in, and I said, yep, got it cheap too. Kinda weird if you ask me, considering it had been remodeled and new roof and everything. Plus the large plot of land behind us, trails and forests and creeks. I love it. They gave each other a look, and I asked, what? I saw that. They said it wasn't bad, then informed me they had known the old couple that had previously owned the house all their lives. And the friend even mentioned the old guy would always fix their bikes and toys if they broke. I said, really? What were their names? They both said she was always in bed sick and he just had them call him Mr. Frank. The hair on my neck stood up. I said, what did you say? He said, we just called him Mr. Frank. He was nice, we all loved him, and his wife was nice too when we would see her. But one day we had heard she had passed away there in her sleep beside him, and not long after that he died in there too. He was so sad. And it has been empty for almost 10 years. The last couple that lived there took off and said they would send somebody for their stuff. We never knew why. We figured the ghost scared them. I laughed nervously and thanked them for the beer and went to share this wonderful news with my wife. When I got home, she was looking at me like she was upset, and I said, uh-oh, what is the matter? She said, why were you yelling for me? When I answered you, didn't say anything, then yelled for me again from another room. And then I answered and went looking to see where you were and what you wanted, and you were out of here. So what? You know I was getting dinner ready. I looked at her and said, I wasn't yelling for you. She said, you most certainly did. Then Raven said the most horrifying thing yet. It wasn't him, Mama. It was the tall, dark man. He can sound like anybody. He sounds like you and him and me too. Sometimes. About this time, our oldest came out on the porch and said, OMG, are you seriously believing in ghosts now? I asked her, so have you seen anything weird since we've been here? She said no. Fast forward now to the present day, 12 years here, and we have gotten used to the shenanigans of the old man. He will appear sometimes in front of everyone but me so far, unfortunately. But to the relief of Raven, the tall shadow man has decided he likes me a lot. Oh good. I will sense his presence and see him from the corner of my eye or feel him standing behind me at times, but as Raven said, if you turn to look, he vanishes. These photos are from the night right after my birthday in August. I was at my computer, and all of a sudden, the reflection in the monitor screen of the door that led into my kitchen, there he was, the tall shadow man, just watching me in silence, at me. I acted like I hadn't noticed him, and I used my mouse to activate my webcam, and I nudged it around to where I could click screenshots with my mouse, and these are the photos. Here's one of the photos. I'm gonna go through a few of these. Looks about the same. I think it's this shadow on the right over here, up on the wall. Really tall and weird looking. You can kind of see it's kind of in the shape of a head. Wild. Kind of points it out there for you. Then looking at that, you kind of see it there. Yeah, wild stuff, dude. And he also added in this last part, and at the last minute, this was photographed in the skies above the exit about 100 yards from my house. As the wife was about to take the exit, she looked up and over to the forest. Well, there you go. And this is the photo in question. Zoom in a little bit. Take over my screen for a sec. Kind of see that there. I'm not sure if this was supposed to go with the first story. I'm guessing probably with some weird light in the sky. And I'm gonna... Daughter's adorable, but I'm going to leave that photo out of the video. But thank you for sending that in, and thanks for the pictures and all the videos you've sent in. You've sent in a lot of stuff, so I appreciate it, Gary. Thank you for all your support on the channel. And yeah, always hanging out in the chats and stuff, man. Yeah, crazy that you're dealing with all that stuff, man. Yeah, I knew about the haunted house thing, though not to so much detail. But at least you're able to like kind of live with that, you know? It sounds like it's not really bothering you guys a whole lot, so that's good. Makes me wonder about, I mean, obviously, lots of things make me wonder about the spiritual world, but like, why is he hanging out? Doesn't he want to go like be wherever his wife is? Yeah, wild stuff, man. If you ever, you know, wild stuff. Thanks for sharing, Gary. You're the man. I'll see you in the next video. All right, this last one's a little bit shorter, but it's interesting, and it also comes with a photo. and it's from another longtime supporter of the channel, somebody who's a pretty regular in the chat, but they did ask to remain anonymous, so I won't be sharing their name in the video, but they know who they are, and I appreciate them for sharing this story with me in this photo. Yeah, let's jump in to this story and evidence with the subject line, Spirit. What's up, brother? I believe and I hope I sent you this photo correct. So you can either use this or not. Whatever you choose is fine with me. Please refrain from my name being mentioned. Done. This photograph was taken behind my coworker's house who lives behind a graveyard across the street. This photograph is kind of grainy. I don't know if you can fix it up. I'll see what I can do. No promises. But what you see on the left side of the photo, you have to blow it up a little, is a stick figure man wearing a hat. Looks like he's carrying a chainsaw, and the white dots around his waist, if you were to zoom in closer, they look like faces. So I call this photograph the Soul Collector for some reason. It's either there's something there, or I have a bad case of pareidolia. I think I'm saying that right. Whatever you choose to do, much love, peace. Anything to help you out, brother. Thank you, my friend, for sending that in. Appreciate it. Very kind of you. Let me take a look at this photo. Oh, that is weird. All right, so this is the photo in question. This is unedited, unaltered, exactly as the subscriber sent it in to me. It is weird. There's also this other weird green and blue light over here, and whatever this like weird little circle thing is down here. A lot going on in this photo. It's kind of hard to see. There's this. And there's also these little green guys, and there's this whole little weird thing. That is a strange photo. I will give you that. What a weird picture. I mean, so my absolute very first instinct when I saw the stick figure man was that it looked like some kind of stick flying bug. Then I thought about that for like half a second, and I was like, does that exist? I mean, I know there's like praying mantises and stuff, but I don't think they fly. I could be wrong. Do they fly? I don't know. But again, even if it was a praying mantis, this thing is like gold. Not even like green. Weird. So yeah, I don't know what you all captured on camera here. This is strange. It's weird stuff. But it does kind of line up with one of my theories that these things are just stuff that we don't even comprehend. I think of aliens being just like little green guys that are just kind of human shaped and they just look different. But like, there's probably a stick race of humans out there. There's probably an alien race of sentient bowling balls. You know how big the universe is? You know how big all of existence is? It is insane. It is unfathomable how big this place is. We're just stuck on this dumb little rock. I mean, it's a wonderful little rock. It's not dumb. People that are currently on it are pretty dumb. A lot of them. But yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, it could be some weird like entity of some sort. Yeah, it really looks like a face at the top. How creepy. You know, like it's holding some kind of like weapon or something. Yeah, I'm of the belief that aliens are something we haven't even thought of yet. Like I think those little green guys, I mean, the little gray guys, I think, you know, that's probably one race, but I think there's a whole bunch of races out there. Big as the universe is, there's gotta be so many races of aliens. And then within each one of those races or species of aliens, they're gonna have a bunch of races. Just like we got this human species and we got a whole bunch of different kinds of people here. They probably got the same thing on their planets. Then recently I've been thinking about if they have pets. That's cool. An alien dog? Probably like slobber acidic goo all over you or something and burn your flesh, but it'd be cool. I wanna pet him. Can't touch that dog. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Man, getting tired. But thank you once again for sending that story in, and thank you everyone for sending your stories in. I really appreciate it. It's super kind of you to do. Personal accounts are my favorite stories. I love hearing people's personal accounts. I in my free time sometimes just read people's paranormal stories on Reddit, and it's kind of what gave me the idea to do this series in the first place. Is that stuff I find interesting, and I assume other people will find it interesting too. So yeah, if you know you have a lane or like a type of subreddit or something that writes really good stories that you'd like to hear me read, let me know in the comments. Preface to that, I do prefer like true stories. You know, I enjoy a good made up story, but like, the whole point of this channel is to seek out the truth and look for real paranormal evidence, look for real paranormal stories, and you know, hopefully uncover some truths. It feels weird to say that. Truthiths. Like some Shakespearean shit. The truthith doth say, the stick man with the chainsaw will talk to Mr. Frank. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Yeah, I'm hitting that delirious point, so I should probably wrap this up. Thank you everybody for sending in your stories. You guys rock. I really appreciate you. It's super cool of you to do and to let me use your stories and tell your stories. I hope that I did them justice and that you can now be proud that they get to live on forever in this little corner of the internet. If you have your own story that you'd like to share, I will put my email on the screen up top, and I'll also put it in the description below. If you missed the rest of Sunday Scaries and you enjoy this kind of content, then go check out the rest of the playlist. I've got that in the description below as well. Don't forget to check me out on Tuesdays and Thursdays where I drop a brand new reaction video, and join the channel to get another reaction video every Monday. If you like audiobooks, you can check out the link at the very bottom of the description for a free 30-day trial to Audible. I love Audible. I listen to audiobooks every day, and you know, knowledge is power, right? Y'all remember that song from elementary school? Knowledge is power. Something like that. Yeah, audiobooks are great. We should always be bettering ourselves and trying to learn something new every day. So audiobooks are a great way to do that. And if you've never tried it before, get the 30-day free trial, then cancel it next week so you don't forget to cancel it next month when they try to charge you. Because Jeff Bezos doesn't need any more of our money. We've given him enough. But I do pay for Audible every month. So, I mean, I still give him my money. As of right now, this series is subscriber submitted stories, paranormal Reddit stories, and Reddit glitch in the Matrix stories. If you have any suggestions on stories you'd like me to read in the future, let me know in the comments. But preface, I do prefer like true stories, not like the no sleep or like subreddits that kind of gear towards that kind of writing, you know? I do like firsthand accounts, anything paranormal, cryptids, anything unexplained, right up my alley. So if you'd like to hear me read them on a future Sunday Scaries video, let me know in the comments. And until next time, stay creepy.